Welcome into WagerTalk TV. I am Drew Martin, joined by Robbie Vino and Steve Merrill from WagerTalk.com. We're talking the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons, seeing 53.5 being the total in Mercedes-Benz, Robbie, with the Falcons minus 2.5 home favorites. The 0-4 Falcons laying a number here, Robbie. You interested in that?
Boy, I don't know, Drew. I mean, certainly the early money is not interested in it, right? That game's gone from Atlanta 3.5 down, crossed through the three, and I think I saw 2.5s before we came on here to do the show. It's a divisional matchup, which you always look at first. Whenever you're ranking NFL games, it goes division, conference, and then non-conference. You get full effort out of teams in these divisional games. For Carolina, they're already 0-1. In the NFC South, Atlanta has yet to play a game against a divisional opponent, so this will be their first. I think it's probably a little more urgent for Carolina, which would seem funny to say against a team that's 0-4, but slightly, I think Carolina would not want to go 0-2 inside the division already. We'll see how that goes, but I think a slight lean towards Carolina there. The biggest problem here, Drew, is these Falcon injuries, and never mind injuries, but cluster injuries. I'm going to go through their defensive backfield for you guys here. These are the guys that are out. Damontae KZ, who got hurt last night against Green Bay. He's out for the season with an Achilles injury. That's one safety down. Cornerback A.J. Terrell, first-round draft pick. He remains on the injured reserve list with coronavirus. Not going to play. Another cornerback, Darqueze Dennard, out this week on IR with a hamstring injury. Here's three more questionables, all that play the safety position. This is going to be 6 defensive backs banged up for Atlanta. Jalen Hawkins, head injury, had to leave the Green Bay game last night. Keanu Neal, hamstring injury, missed the Green Bay game last night. And Ricardo Allen, elbow injury, missed the last 2 games. Those guys all listed as questionable. There's potential for 2 of those 3 to not play. You could be missing 5 defensive backs in this game against a team that in their wide receiving core does have some speed. DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Curtis Samuel. So you got a little bit of speed there. You got to like that matchup for Carolina. The Panthers pass offense, guys, as as average as it may seem, the last 3 games, Teddy Bridgewater's completed 78.6% of his passes against Tampa, 78.6 against the Chargers, and 70.3 this past Sunday against Arizona. They're throwing the ball carefully and very well down the field. That doesn't bode well for Atlanta with all these defensive back injuries. Atlanta's been outgained by 110 yards per game by their last 3 opponents. The Panthers have outgained 3 of their 4 opponents. They're actually coming on a little bit under Matt Rule. They've played much better the last couple of games. The Falcons, if you just look at the trenches, they've lost the line of scrimmage. Yards per rush allowed. They've lost it in every single game. And they have no pass rush whatsoever. They've got 7 sacks and 168 pass attempts against them. And they haven't picked off any passes, 2 interceptions and 168 against them. So you have to believe that Carolina can move the ball through the air. They prefer using Mike Davis, but maybe they throw to set up the run here. I can't see any reason to bet the Falcons in this game. And I think, as I said, early money is showing that. I would probably be on Carolina here plus the price.
Yeah, and the market is pushing it down. You're right, Robbie. We're seeing it as low as -2 right now. And Steve, coming to you, I mean, we can get the Falcons an 0-4 team. It's kind of a little bit weird. You don't see it too often, an 0-4 team laying a number. We got it here. Are you interested in the Falcons, in the Panthers getting involved here, Steve?
Yeah, I'm actually going to look at the total here. I think that's the safer way to go. But yeah, I mean, on the surface, an 0-4 team laying points is not at the top of my list normally, although you do figure Atlanta's got to maybe win a game or 2 this season, and they're at Minnesota next week. Get Detroit at home after that. So this Carolina game and the Detroit home game are by far 2 of their best win opportunities, and they have Denver as their next home game in early November. I think they probably get 1 or 2 of those. Not sure about this one, though. They're on the short week off the Monday nighter. And I have not had a great feel for Carolina here. Last week, I went against them with Arizona. That was the one best bet I missed on Sunday as a side selection. Back in week 1, though, here on Wager Talk TV, we did a preview of the Raiders and Panthers, Tony Finn and I actually leaned towards the Raiders in that one. They got the cover. I then went against Carolina with the best bet winner in week 2 with Tampa Bay. The Bucs are in that nice bounce-back spot after their opening loss. But I have said all along, I think Carolina could be a play-on team at some point this season. I love Joe Brady as the new offensive coordinator. It's going to take some time to get the new system in place, but it looks like maybe things are clicking now because they're off back-to-back straight-up underdog wins the last 2 weeks against the Chargers and the Cardinals, as I mentioned. But I think the over is the best way to play this game, guys. I have no problem playing the over the total here. Carolina's offense is starting to click. I expect them to get better each and every week. As Rob mentioned, a lot of defensive back injuries. And this Atlanta team is already on the season giving up over 8 yards per pass, 72% completions. So they've got no room for error and no room for injury. Julio Jones did get hurt on Monday night. That's a concern, but I think Atlanta has plenty of a weapon still, and I'm not sold on this Carolina defense. Overall, 2 bad defenses. Carolina also, by the way, giving up 72% completion. So I look for both teams to throw the ball at will, move it up and down the field. Current total is around 53.5. It's a very manageable number in the modern NFL. Keep in mind, with no preseason, limited training camps, the tackling has been atrocious, worse than ever, and it's never been that good to start with. And last Sunday, we had 6 NFL games last Sunday that had an over-under line of 52 or higher. All 6 of those games saw at least 52 points or more scored last Sunday. I think this one gets over 53.5.
Great stats there, Steve. And talking about Atlanta, 3-1 to the over so far. Controlled atmosphere there in Mercedes-Benz. I like where you're going with that. The over in Carolina, Atlanta. Follow Robbie Vino on Twitter at Rob Vino Sports. Steve Merrill on Twitter at Steve Merrill, 2 R's, 1 L. Guys, also remember, 1-day all access pass under $40. You get every play from any handicapper you choose. Sports Memo or WagerTalk.com. Only $39.